Good morning, everyone. I want to first introduce Amy Harper. Dr. Amy Harper is currently the National Safety Council's Journey to Safety Excellence and Workplace Strategy Director. In her role, she is responsible for the planning and execution of the Council's very first advocacy initiative called the Journey to Safety Excellence Campaign. She has been employed in the field of safety and health for 19 years, having worked primarily in the insurance industry. Her experience varies from consulting with Fortune 500 companies as well as small businesses to product development, marketing, and executive level management. She holds a master's and doctorate in social and organizational psychology from Temple University in Philadelphia. Just want to welcome you to this webinar this morning. This is one of the many things that is available from our Driving Concern. I'm going to go ahead and unmute her and get her started.
All right, thanks, Katie. I appreciate it. Good morning, everybody. Just wanted to start today and talk about the Journey to Safety Excellence and really focus on some of the website features and benefits and get you started on, one of the tools that you can go in and start today. Just to give you a little bit of an idea of what this Journey initiative is about, we want to basically provide free tools to organizations that maybe don't have a full-time safety person, or maybe you have locations or facilities that, maybe there's a corporate safety person, but then there's people with individual responsibilities for safety at each of those locations who might not have a formal safety and health degree. And so if you've got HR managers or supervisors or even business owners for small businesses who don't have that background, where do they turn for credible safety information? Well, they can turn to the Journey to Safety Excellence. So today I'm going to show you a little bit of the measurement tools. There's 3 safety measurement tools, and I'm going to show you one of them. And then in future webinars, the next 2, I'll show you the other 2, plus the other resources. Once you're done, and I'll have this website address up afterwards as well, you can join. It's free registration. You just fill out a few questions, and you go to nsc.org/journey. Fill out the registration questions, and you will have access to what I'm going to show you today for free. And right after, you can do it right after this this call. So the Journey to Safety Excellence kind of comes from this theory, or sort of based on research, based on some of the safety management systems, best practices, OSHA regulations. I mean, we look at a lot of these different things, even ISO. Some of those things that say, what do we need to have in place for safety? And we've come up with, based on our research, based on best practices, based on, some of what has already been published by people who are in this business, we have the 4 pillars right in the center of our model. And if you do these 4 pillars, and then there's, subtopics within each of these things too, if we do these things well, we should have a really well-functioning safety program in our organization. So the first is leadership and engagement, and that's things like workforce involvement, management leadership and commitment. Even creating a safety culture would fall sort of within that pillar. And then we have safety management systems, things like, whether we do job safety analysis, inspection and maintenance, contractor and supply chain management, post-injury management, incident investigation. All of those things are things that we would consider to be safety management systems. Risk reduction, obviously that's what it sounds like. It's identifying which risks are in your workplace and trying to target those risks and make those either go away or make them less risky. So things like ergonomics, lockout, tagout, chemical storage and handling, industrial hygiene, slip, trip, and fall management, those kinds of things would be considered risk reduction activities. And then finally, performance measurement. Are you measuring your performance in safety? Are you using just lagging indicators like your incident rates, or are you going further upstream to maybe look at measurements that you could be doing annually or even more than annually to see if you're improving in those more upstream measures? And I'm going to show you one of those leading indicators this morning. Around the outside, there are 3 questions that are posed. Starting at the upper right, where are you now and where do you want to be? The tool I'm going to show you today helps answer that question from a safety management systems perspective. How do you move forward? And then how do you manage your improvement and measure your progress? And the Journey to Safety Excellence and the tools that are contained within the website are designed to help you answer those 3 questions and get better at doing the 4 pillars. But you have to kind of start and say, well, where am I today? How well am I doing here? And so then there's the circle, which is really, most of you probably have seen this in some way, shape, or form before, but it's really starting with the determining gaps and setting goals, developing improvement plans, implement the plans, capture your lessons learned, and measure and remeasure. It's your continuous improvement process. And that's what the Journey to Safety Excellence really is. So that's just a little bit about sort of the theory behind why we're doing this and how the information is set up on the site. So on the Journey website, and again, this is different than our NSC membership site. This is a separate sort of website and self-contained, tools and things. You don't have to be a member. Obviously, it's free for any company. There's 3 measurement tools. The one I'm going to show you today is the self-assessment of safety management systems, the employee perception survey, which I'll review next week, and the incident rate calculator, which I'll probably also review next week. The guides, there are 6 guides with over 100 safety topics and 600 resources, not just from the NSC, but from organizations like OSHA and CPWR and, some of the more reputable sources of information. There's training, webinars, articles, tips, tools, whatever, you can think of. We probably have some of it in there. And then finally, we have a spot where you can engage with other people. There's a forum. It's an online discussion group where you can pose questions, get answers. We have experts that are serving as sort of the panelists on that discussion forum, so you'll always get an answer to a question. So those are the 3 main aspects. So let's jump right into showing you the safety system assessment. So once you've logged in, this is the screen you want to come to, and this tools section here is where you want to click, or you can also do the quick link and click right into My Tools, and it'll get you to a dashboard where we have the tools. If you click on tools, you'll get to the 3 tools here. Again, there's the My Tools, and the dashboard contains the status of your assessment completion, or it would tell you how many people have filled out employee perception surveys, but it also has your saved reports there, and this is really just your personal dashboard for your safety information. So once you get into clicking on My Tools, this is the dashboard that you're sent to. And so just to orient you a little bit here on what we've got, this is actions that you can take are on the left side here. So you can add a new location, and you define what a location is. If you want a location to be a department within a 4-walled facility, you can define it that way. You can define it as, an entire organization. So it really just depends on how you want to define and what level of measurement you want to do for these things. There's the employee perception survey, which we'll talk about next week. The link to the safety system assessment, which is what we'll talk about today, and then the report, any of the reports that you want to run for either the survey or the assessment is here. We'll deal with the incident rate calculator on a future call, but all of these on the right side are the calculator. And your safety system assessment status by location is here. So if you've started certain ones, or if you've completed, things for multiple locations, assessments for multiple locations, you'll see a status here. And then your employee perception, I'll review that next week, but that's the bottom right. So to do the safety system assessment, and this is really where I would sort of say, if you're new to the site, just maybe start there, because it's a 69-question survey or assessment, and it's something that's designed to be filled out by the person most responsible for safety at a particular location. Again, you define location, so you can figure that that part out. So I'll show you the tool in just a second, but to show you how to get to this or how to add a new location, you click Add New Location, and then a screen will come up where you're just going to type in your location name. You name it whatever you want. If you want to put a city and state there, that's fine. you call it, whatever makes sense for you. And then you want to select an NAICS code. And there's a lookup feature if you don't know what the NAICS code is for your industry or for that location. There's a link that will help you sort of narrow this down. But it's up to 6 digits, and the reason you'll do this is for the incident rate calculator. It will benchmark using BLS statistics. It'll benchmark you on your NAICS code, your incident rates. For this particular assessment, it doesn't necessarily associate with an NAICS code. There's no benchmarking by industry that goes on, but at least it's there so that you don't have to redo it and set up locations multiple times. So once you've set the location up, and you can do as many locations as you would like, you're going to click Send Link to Safety System Assessment. And what that does is it generates an email to the email that you registered with when you joined the Journey to Safety Excellence. So it'll send it to that email, and you send the link to the safety system assessment, select your location that you want to have this associated with, and here's the email that comes to you. So you can tell the location here, Harper Industries, Dallas, Texas, so that will show up here so you know which email is associated with which location. And then you click the here, the blue here, to start the actual assessment. So when you do that, you're going to have this type of assessment comes up. And this is a web form that's basically the 69 questions are all there. And so you can see the different types of things, the categories that are being measured here up top: management, leadership, commitment, motivation, behavior, and attitudes. And these are the categories that you're going to get your results on. So you take about, I don't know, it probably takes maybe 20 minutes to go through and answer the 69 questions, rating them from a strongly disagree being a 1 to a 5, being strongly agree. Answer those, hit submit, and then you're going to go back to your dashboard and you're going to hit report. And when you hit report, you're going to have these two fields, the select a location, so you select the location you want to run the report on, and the survey, whether it's the assessment or the perception survey. So you'll put in your location and safety system assessment, hit run, and when you get your report back, this is the type of information you're going to get back. You're going to get a PDF report. It'll open up, and then you can save it, send it to somebody else, or just it'll stay there in the online for you. And what you're going to get back is something that looks like this green, yellow, and red chart. And these are percentile scores by the 69 items that you've answered. And the percentile scores, what those mean is that when you do this survey, you're being compared, your answers are being compared to a database of over 500 other companies that have completed this survey as well. And what it does is tells you the percentile score of, say, an 85 means that you scored better than 85% of the other people that answered the survey. So the items in green are going to be anything from a 75 to 100 percentile, and those are things that you're doing relatively well compared to other people. Anything in the yellow or especially the red, those are going to be the lower percentile scores that you might want to take a peek at those individual items to say, oh, okay, maybe we need to work on this. And it's interesting to do it for different locations and compare their results to see if they're struggling with the same things or if, there's a completely different culture going on with another location than in another one. The other chart that you're going to get here is that based on those categories that we talked about, the management, leadership, and commitment, motivation, behavior, and attitudes, workforce involvement, and you're going to get percentile scores for that factor. And so you can start to see, in this one, workforce involvement is fairly low, system management and communication is somewhat low, and so you can start to target in on the types of things that you might want to focus on. So if workforce involvement is low, what can you do to get the workforce more involved, or at least if you have workforce involved, maybe broadcast that or communicate that to a broader extent so people are more aware of it. It's just one of those things that it's a snapshot. It's designed to help you pinpoint where you might want to focus your efforts, and it takes very little time to be able to get this type of information back. Now, the other way you can use this You can do this yourself if you're the person responsible for safety. It's also interesting when you get a group of people to each fill out their own and then come together to talk about it. So you, at one particular facility, you might have the person responsible for safety fill this out. You might have the plant manager or facility manager. You might have the operations person fill it out, maybe an HR person, or maybe even your supervisors filling it out. And then come together, talk about your scores, talk about whether there's things that are similar and you're viewing things the same way, or whether there are, you know, very different perceptions about what's in place and what's not. So again, this is just really a snapshot. It's a tool that you can definitely use today. You can go online at nsc.org/journey, click join, fill out the registration questions, and you will be on your way to finding that tool. If there's any questions, you all can click those into the chat button. There should be a chat button up in the upper right of your screen. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. So thank you very much for your attention today.
Were there any questions, Amy?
I don't see any.
Okay. All right. Well, at this point, I know everybody has a busy day. I want to go ahead and thank Amy for her time today. Don't forget to register for the next webinar in this 3-part series, which will be next Wednesday, February 24th at 10 a.m. You can also find more upcoming free training opportunities at txdrivingconcern.org. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great day.